It began in a narrow hallway where everyone learned to lower their voice. A mother was trying to keep an ordinary day from falling apart. There was no music, no perfect line, no heroic posture. There was only a person trying to decide what kind of human being to be. The problem did not arrive as a disaster. It arrived as a pause at the table, a letter folded twice, a door closed too softly, a look that stayed on someone's face 1 second too long. In families, the deepest trouble often enters quietly because everyone is trying to protect everyone else. For a while, she tried to behave as if nothing had changed. There were meals to prepare, school bags to pack, bills to hide, old promises to repeat, and younger people in the house who still needed the world to look safe. But pretending is heavy work. Every small kindness began to cost more than it had the day before. Then came the moment when the truth could no longer stay behind the curtain. No one made a speech. No one had the perfect words. A person simply saw what had been hidden and understood that love sometimes wears the face of a lie, a silence, or an exhausted smile. What happened next was not dramatic in the way films are dramatic. A mother did not suddenly become fearless. She simply chose not to make the wound bigger. That choice may look small from the outside, but inside a family it can be the difference between breaking and holding. Someone still had to wash the dishes. Someone still had to go to work. Someone still had to answer a child's question without letting the voice shake. This is how ordinary people carry extraordinary burdens, not with grand gestures, but by doing the next necessary thing. There was one detail she would remember later: the way a hand hesitated near a pocket, the way a chair scraped the floor, the way a familiar room suddenly felt like a place where everyone was acting. This is why the story still lands in today's world. So many families look perfectly normal from the street, yet inside the house there may be debt, illness, distance, grief, immigration pressure, aging parents, anxious children, or two adults who no longer know how to ask each other for help. Modern life trains people to explain everything quickly, to judge quickly, to post quickly. But a family is not a comments section. A family is where people often hurt each other precisely because they are tired, scared, and too close to hide. The story asks for a slower kind of judgment. Before calling someone weak, dramatic, cold, or dishonest, maybe ask what fear they were carrying and what they were trying to protect. This is why the story does not feel old, even if the setting may belong to another time. The costumes change, the technology changes, the cities change, but the human problem remains recognizable. People still want to be understood before they are judged. They still want a second chance without being reduced to their worst mistake. They still want love that does not turn every weakness into evidence against them. And perhaps the most important lesson is this: compassion is not the refusal to see the truth. Compassion is seeing the truth clearly and still refusing to destroy a person with it. The story stays with us because it does not flatter human beings, but it still believes we can be better than our worst hour.